All right, so I wanted to share my thoughts on this in case you've been living under a rock in the last, what, 5 hours now, maybe? Um, the Dallas Cowboys have made a coaching decision. It was kind of weird how this all played out with Jason Garrett. Jerry was trying to be all buddy buddy with him, didn't want to cut the cord, just kept trying to keep him on as long as possible without saying goodbye. Sometimes you just got to say goodbye and move on. Jerry was holding on as it started going this way. He just holding on and holding on. When you know the right thing to do is just move on. He kept trying, and eventually it came down to the point where it was time. And the Cowboys were doing interviews with other coaching candidates while Jason Garrett was still in the freaking building. This is, run your business how you want to. To me, that's just insane. I can't imagine that being the head coach of the Cowboys and having to watch guys who are coming to take my job. And I also can't imagine being the interviewer, having to walk by somebody and say, not say, but indirectly, no, I could take that man's job. And that's not saying that they're financially in trouble. Obviously these guys make millions and they got plenty for their next 3 generations after them. But for me, it's just weird how they did it. They didn't do it right. What they should have done is similar to what the Browns did. Just said, listen, nothing personal. We like you a lot. We do, but it's just not working out. I'm sorry, it's just not. We're gonna have to move on. So the Cowboys instead, like I said, they're holding on, and like I said, they come down and they have to make a decision, and it's this awkward ending. So that didn't end well, and it came out today that the Dallas Cowboys hired the guy that I wanted for the Cleveland job, Mike McCarthy. Now, when this came down, I was pretty upset. And I'm not upset at Dallas or Jerry. I'm upset at Jimmy and D. Haslam and that whole Browns front office of morons. Because you somehow, the thing that this Browns team needs, and I'm not talking about, this isn't about the Browns, but I'm saying for the Browns I'm a Browns fan. I'm saying from the Browns standpoint, what you need is a grown up who's a leader, who knows what he's doing and has experience. Two guys, Ron Rivera and Mike McCarthy. You can throw Urban. You can say that McDaniels is too. I disagree with you there, but and the Browns let those two walk. Didn't even get to interview Rivera. So for the Cowboys, they weren't in a similar situation to what the Browns are now. The Cowboys are, even though they get compared a lot, and that's why I mentioned the Browns in the first place, Cowboys were not a place to me that needed somebody who's going to be stable, who's going to be there, who's going to be reliable, going to be that guy. The Cowboys, to me, needed a bolt of energy. They needed a guy who is younger, who's going to relate to the players, who's going to be able to come in and not hype guys up, but get guys ready to go from the standpoint of that youth energy. And I'm not saying like the guy has to be 15 years old. I'm saying, now I know obviously no coach is 15, but I'm not saying they have to be super young, but my point is, to me, the Dallas Cowboys needed a guy who was going to be able to light a spark. I think the Cowboys are going to make the divisional round of the playoffs at minimum under Mike McCarthy. I'm not sure after that, but I do think Mike McCarthy gets you to the playoffs and a couple games into the playoffs at minimum because of how he knows how to use people and developed young quarterbacks. And this is great for Dak. This is fantastic for Dak. I had questions on Dak I know a lot of people do, but for Dak Prescott, this is the best thing that's ever happened to him. For Ezekiel Elliott, it's probably the worst. You look at Mike McCarthy's history, he doesn't like to run the ball that much. He likes quarterbacks. So we'll see how much Zeke gets used, but I'm not saying I don't like the hire because I do. I think home run for Jerry. In my opinion, home run because you go from Jason Garrett, who is a guy who you know what he is. He's an 8-8, 9-7 type guy who you're going to be middle of the pack every year. That's what it is. To now a guy who's going to be probably 12-4, 11-6 at worst, or 11-5 at worst, and that's a big improvement. I mean, it is. But I don't know how long it's going to work because I think guys like that who are the experienced guys who've been to the playoffs, who've had the Super Bowl, has all this experience, veteran, those are the guys who I think are going to clash with Jerry. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I think that this is going to be a 2 to 3 year of really good success. Like I said, divisional round at the minimum, and then I can see a couple things coming up, contracts or whatever, and there's some misdirection there and disagreement, and it starts to spark between Jerry and McCarthy. McCarthy signed a 5-year contract to be the head coach of the Cowboys. I don't know the money he's getting, but he signed a 5-year deal. I think, like I said, 2 to 3 years of great things are going to come out of that, in my opinion. And then after that, I can see something not going like Jerry hopes. And potentially this is setting up for Lincoln Riley down the road. Who knows? Maybe the plan is to have McCarthy for that 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 year range, and then by then maybe Lincoln's saying, you know what? It's time to go on to the next level. I mean, Lincoln's a young guy. We say 5 years, and it sounds like a lot, but before you know it, I mean, it's going to be 2027, you know? I mean, that's how this past decade went. So, this could be setting up for a guy like Lincoln Riley. Obviously, by then it won't be Urban. But, there's a lot of people saying that this is either terrible or it's fantastic. I think it's a good hire for now. Like I said, I think they need a guy eventually who's going to be able to spark a flame. I don't think that he's the guy to spark the flame. Now, I know you're saying, well, you wanted him so bad in Cleveland. Why'd you want him so bad in Cleveland as a Browns fan? Because we have no stability. We have a bunch of idiots running the front office. Everybody in there's clueless. Basically, you got a good roster of guys, core group of players, and you got a bunch of idiots at the top. And somebody's got to come in and take control of that. I don't think we need a young, hot shot guy. I mean, it'd be great if you could guarantee me that we get the next Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay type guy, one of the younger guys. But to me, McCarthy, Ron Rivera was my number one for the reasons that you're seeing in Washington. Coming in and saying, now listen, bottom line is that's how you did it. That got you what? Top 5 draft pick every year? No. It's changing. Culture shock. That's what Cleveland needs, but it's not going to happen. Right now, the Browns are down to Kevin Stefanski, McDaniels, and probably Salah, whatever, from the San Francisco 49ers. So, as far as, like I said, with Dallas, good hire right now. The immediate future is looking good. Down the line, like I said, I could see the setting up for a transition from a college guy to the next level. So yeah, it's annoying as a Browns fan when your organization has picked coordinators and hotshot guys for the last how long, and we've let the top 2 walk away. Meanwhile, Dallas is a guy who's or team who's known for those hot shot guys, and it works out. You've seen that with some college coaches and whatnot. And now they're going the conservative route. When I thought it was going to be Matt Rule. I really did. I thought Matt Rule was going to be the next coach of the Cowboys. Not much other stuff to say there. Jerry had a sleepover. Hey, Jim Harbaugh style sleepovers work, I guess, except when it comes to recruiting. So, yeah, it is what it is, people. If you're a Cowboys fan, be happy. If I was a Cowboys fan, I'd be elated. I'd be thrilled because we finally, not we as Cowboys fan. What I'm saying, if I am a Cowboys fan, I'd be saying we finally got somebody who is proven. We don't have to worry. We know what they're going to be, and we can trust with that roster that we know we're going to be at least at this level. Like I said, I believe that's divisional round of the playoffs every year. And I'm not saying first round bye every year, but I'm saying I believe you'll either get that first round bye or you'll win the wild card every year. There's nothing guaranteed. There is nothing guaranteed. But for me, that's just what I see. I see Dak getting the best thing for him, a guy who's going to help develop him. And I see a lot of these players maturing, So, hopefully these Cowboy fans are happy. Congratulations, you got my guy that I wanted. Cleveland, if you're not a Cowboys fan and you're a Browns fan, I know there are a lot of Browns fans who are on this channel. Thank you. Even if you're not a Browns fan and you're just checking this out, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the McCarthy hire, even if you're not a Browns fan or a Cowboys fan. But I do think the Browns are crunch time. They need to hire somebody. You look at the Redskins. You look at the... Who's left now? Redskins, Cowboys are filled. So you're down to the Panthers, the Giants, and the Browns. Josh McDaniels, I believe, is taking one of those jobs. Whether he stays because he's backed out before... McDaniels is going to take one of those jobs. I believe Matt Rule is, and I believe Marvin Lewis is probably going to back into one of them. If you're the Browns, you got to get Stefanski or you got to get McDaniels. So, I don't know, people. I'm sick of this crap every year. Hopefully we get it right. So, yep. Thanks for watching. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on the McCarthy hire. Congratulations if you're a Cowboys fan. Like I said, I think it's good for your intermediate future. So, congratulations. See you in the next video. Bye.